looking for the good in every situation. We all know how it's said that the one who thinks positively will always reap positively, and those who think negatively would normally get to experience the negative outcomes. And the truth is, there's just no one who has experienced a very positive life or everything's always, positive vibes. There is always going to be an aspect of change and readjustment, and there's just no one who can see that he or she has never had to deal with some negative situations, negative circumstances. And so looking for the good in every situation thus is very important, very vital, and it just means that we as human beings, we just can't rely on all the bad times and the tough and the difficult times, but look at the good in every given situation, no matter how tough the situation is or difficult it is. And it's easier said than done, actually, and such an outcome comes with experience and also comes with age, I would say. Personally, in my life, I think I've made a lot of mistakes when it comes to situations that could at least just require me to think positively. But I, however, just decided to focus on the negative. It has affected my relationships with my loved ones a lot. And I think that's the most aspect of my life that's not thinking positively enough. And I say enough here because of the reason has really been that's played a huge role there. And I just want to ask, what about you? What do you do to boost your mental health? What do you do to boost your positivity? One thing you can start doing today is to surround yourself only those who boost you up. If you want people who either bring you down or tear you down, then you should probably stay away from such people. They are not necessarily your people. However, if you surround yourself with those who empower you, honestly, you will be so empowered up to the extent that you won't even be able to, feel pressured or feel disheartened by those who do not empower you. Thus, surrounding yourself with those who empower you and help you think positively too, or stay positive in all circumstances, is, I think, and I believe, the best way to go about a positive life and developing an attitude of gratitude. This is another statement that is easier said than done, but I could share something in my LinkedIn post, which I'll link down in the description box, about the importance of being grateful. There are a lot of things happening in life today, and sometimes we may tend to worry a lot. We may tend to think about the things that we lack or that we ought to have but we do not have because of circumstances beyond our control. However, it's really also very important to always look at the little things that we have that not only many but tons of people out there do not have, ranging from the voice you have to talk to the people you have to be with. Forget about the food to eat, forget about the water to drink, the voice to talk, the eyes to see, such things that we have on a daily, and we minimize it because it's a really part and parcel of us. However, but there are some features that individuals out there do not really have. And so I personally think that when we really try to be grateful in all circumstances, more blessings come to us, I guess. But again, it's all a work in progress. This is something that requires a good level of maturity, and it comes with age. There's just no one who is good or perfect at it yet. Now, talking about ignoring what people say about you, this is actually a very hard pill to swallow, but it's not easy to ignore what people say about you. When people say things about you that is not true, I know that for myself, and I also know that based on my relationships with my loved ones, I know how much it hurts them when I say something wrong to them, and I really, sometimes it comes from a place of me thinking that this is actually very true, because I've thought about it and it's something that's probably sparked my curiosity or interest that caused me to see it that way. But you can't really know anybody until you know that person. And the best way to know someone is by knowing the person internally. And the only way to know someone internally is to get into the person's heart. But we can't do that. So what do we do in such a case? We don't do anything actually. We just have to love all but trust none. And this is just my principle. Of course, everyone has his own principle in life. But the Bible I read teaches me to love all but trust none, and I think it's the best advice ever. Because again, the best way to really know someone is to live in that person, and you can't live in somebody. However, you don't have to live in somebody to love that person. Just love the person unconditionally. But to avoid being hurt, just don't trust. Love all but trust does is the best way to go about living a very peaceful life, a life that is more calm and less chaotic. Now, ignoring what people say about you is not necessarily something that's definitely possible, but with the aspect of you just avoiding the chaos, avoiding trusting people too much, you will know that okay, when people say something, after all, you didn't trust them, because what really hurts the people you trust when they say something bad. I think what we should really care about is the opinions of those we trust. But yeah, I'm sure you get my point. Once it's past, let it go. Wow. Let bygones be bygones. Now, how does someone deal with such a circumstance? How do people just get to acknowledge that bygones really ought to be bygones and they do not have to think about it that much? I guess it's because of our inherent characteristics, our inherent desire to want to be happy, our inherent desire to want to understand things, our inherent desire to want to understand why things happened or happens the way they do. So all this lesson is actually very important to us to learn, because indeed it prevents a lot of disturbance, unnecessary disturbances, I'll call it that way. Not like there's any necessary disturbance though. So once it's past, let it go. It's something that I would want to put at the forefront of my heart, just to give me that peace, that constant, continuous and consistent peace of mind. Don't listen to gossip. Have you ever heard of the saying that those who gossip with you gossip about you? I think I've been guilty this year actually of a lot of faults and mishaps and blames and trouble and involvement. I'm very much aware that I haven't been my best self this year, and I've probably judged more than I ought to and say a lot of not necessarily bad things, but criticized people based on their actions and not necessarily for who they are or understand who they are, where it comes from. Just proving the fact or the point that I'm just human. Although sometimes when others say that to me, when they do something wrong, I'll be like, okay, you're just human, doesn't matter. But honestly, we are all just humans, and I would like to say we are a work of progress. We have to be strong in fighting temptations, and gossiping not being exclusive but inclusive, because it's a temptation. It's not only a temptation, it's a sin, and sins should be avoided no matter how tempting it is, because in the long run, even in the short run, it can go against you and you find yourself being the prey and no longer the predator. Staying away from gossip or even perpetrating gossip or bringing about gossip should be something that we should try our very best to avoid in every given possible way, even as the Lord helps and guides us. Design your own life. Now depending definition of design, this is actually something that is really vary from person to person, and also your family background. Of course, you don't want to do something that is against your culture or against your family or against how you were raised just because it pleases you. or it's your passion. And this is a mistake I made, or I used to make. Sometimes I let my passion and my natural desires overshadow that which is more realistic, right? Because I think, okay, I love it, I'll go for it. However, just designing your life without thinking about the outcomes or the long term goals or benefits or repercussions is really not the best way to go. Now, thinking about the long term goals and long term repercussions, and also thinking about the consequences, whether it's positive consequences, of course, it can be negative consequences, is probably the best way to go about it when it comes to designing your life. Because in this case, you don't only think about yourself, you think about others, right? Think about your family, think about your friends, think about your future family. But you also put into consideration the person, the overall person that you want to be, that you want to become. Designing your life does have to take into consideration a lot of factors, and above all, you have to seek God in the process, because He alone has the key to the life that you want to live, or better still, to the life that He wants you to live, right? Loving more. Oh, there's a verse in the Bible that says, talk less, laugh more, listen more. Honestly, it was my favorite verse when I was younger. I think the more I grow older, the more I talk, the less I laugh, and the less I listen. That's totally opposite. And this actually explains why I have a lot of chaos in my life sometimes, because I tend to talk a lot but listen less, laugh less, or maybe I laugh a little bit more. But generally, I think I can do better. I want to do better. And after all, these lessons are just there to help us live a life that is more happier and more healthier, and not necessarily to cause us to be saddened, or not necessarily to cause us to be displeased, or to be, unfavored. All the lessons in life are, well, actually very good lessons. When you read them, you're gonna know. Examples are the 7 I just mentioned today. They are all lessons really make us happier and healthier and better. So loving more is ultimately a good way to end these 7 happiness tips that I wanted to share with you all. I hope it resonated with you. Of course, you can always comment down below to let me know what tips or tip you'll be using, or what tip or tips resonated with you more, and what lesson or lessons you've learned in your life, or you are learning in your life, and how it's been impactful towards your overall well-being and mental health and physical health. Please also make sure to check out Get Impeccable YouTube channel. I'm going to link it down in the description box. That's where we share all things about women's reproductive and menstrual health, but we also talk about developing more social skills and personal skills. So make sure to check us there even more for better contents. Without no further ado, bye for now. Thank you.